Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we have bout number 7 of our heavyweight tournament, and it will be a battle for the heart of Texas, deep in the heart of Texas, as Randall Tex Cobb will take on George Foreman. Bout number 7 scheduled for 15 rounds. Again, this was a blind draw picked by random numbers. So Foreman versus Cobb from the Houston Astrodome, scheduled for 15. Randall Tex Cobb weighed in at 225 pounds, 6'3". Record of 42 wins, 7 defeats, 1 draw, 35 by KO. He was KO'd once by D. Collier. Tex Cobb had a couple of controversial losses. To Kenny Norton, Michael Dokes, and Ernie Shavers. Actually, he beat Shavers, excuse me. Biggest win, Bernardo Mercado. Lost his one bid at the heavyweight title to Larry Holmes, November 26, 1982. That fight is known for making Howard Cosell quit boxing. Again, he'll be facing Big George Foreman. Foreman, 76 wins, 5 defeats, 68 by KO. He was KO'd once by Jimmy Young. His last fight before he retired, and then he would come back later on to regain the heavyweight title in his second coming as a heavyweight fighter. George Foreman would win the heavyweight title by crushing Joe Frazier in Jamaica, knocking him down 6 times to win the heavyweight title. January 22nd, 1973, would defend it against Jose Roman, then batter Kenny Norton. He destroyed Roman and Norton, and then would lose to Muhammad Ali in Zaire. He was KO'd. In the 8th round in Kinshasa, Zaire. Ali will be weighing in at, George Foreman will be weighing in at 220 pounds. (6'3½), red trunks, white and blue trim. Randall Tex Cobb, yellow and black. As the fighters will last-minute preparations in their dressing room. So here we go. Randall Tex Cobb in his corner. Eddie Futch and Freddie Brown. Eddie Futch the trainer, Freddie Brown the cutman. Both fighters are in their prime. George Foreman in his corner. Gil Clancy as the trainer. Ace Murata the cutman. We gotta change that to the Astrodome. Hold on, we got the wrong venue. It's got to be the Astrodome. We want the Astrodome, folks. Or is it it is the Houston Astrodome. Oh boy. Hartford Civic Center. Not there. Here we go. The Houston Astrodome. Beautiful. Johnny Addy is the announcer. Referee Rudy Battle. The judges, Harold Letterman, Lou Filippo, and Glenn Feldman. 10-point must system. 3 knockdown rule in effect. Mandatory 8 count. You cannot be saved by the bell ever. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. Cobb, a slugger, has a control factor of an 8 versus a boxer, and a control factor of an 8 versus a slugger. George Foreman's definitely a slugger, and he has a control factor of a 12 versus a boxer and a 15 versus a slugger. So Foreman should be able to have his way, take control of this fight quite easily against Cobb. Cobb, a very tough man, though, and we shall see what happens. Again, both fighters will be in prime condition, tip-top shape. Randall Tex Cobb weighing 225. George Foreman, 220. Foreman has the huge edge in power. Cobb, the tremendous edge in endurance. Cobb's only chance is to take George Foreman late in the fight and try to tire him out. Defense, well, you can basically hit both fighters. Hand speed, big edge for George Foreman, 75 to 50. Tactical skills, George Foreman. Tactical skills are how well a fighter listens to his corner and follows through with the instructions in the corner and how they train for the fight. Let's move on to the fight now. So once again, Randall Cobb, 220, tip-top shape. Trainer Eddie Futch, cutman Freddie Brown, 225, I'm sorry for Cobb. George Foreman, 220. Gil Clancy, the trainer. Ace Murata, the cutman. The Houston Astrodome, Johnny Addy, the announcer. Referee Rudy Battle. Judges Harold Letterman of the U.S., Lou Filippo of the U.S., and Glenn Feldman of the U.S. Ringside expert for title bout boxing, Mirko Mizra. As Randall Cobb will enter the ring first. Astrodome is abuzz, as this is a battle for the heart of Texas. Foreman, a big favorite. A lot of betting to see if Cobb goes the distance, as he did with Larry Holmes in his one bid for the heavyweight title. Cobb enters the ring, waves to the crowd, goes to his corner. Eddie Futch, Freddie Brown. Here comes George Foreman, big George Foreman, Olympic gold medalist, 1968. He comes slowly sauntering to the ring. George, a big muscle man. Hard puncher, he destroyed Frazier and Norton. Bounced them like little red balls. He enters the ring. The crowd acknowledges him. Gil Clancy and Ace Murata flanking him as they go to the corner. The blue corner. Referee's final instructions. Rudy Battle asks, any questions from the red corner? Randall Cobb, any second? They say no. Any question from the blue corner? George Foreman, his second. They nod no. Fighters go back to their corners. We await the first bell. As in the chat, we have Marvin Horton. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. And Clinton Parks. And ID Gesture. Hope all is well with you, gentlemen. Here comes round one. Randall Tex Cobb, George Foreman, bout number 7. Scheduled for 15 of this heavyweight tournament. And there's the bell. Both fighters come out. Cobb lands 2 quick jabs, not known for hand speed, but he got his punches off first. Hook missed by Foreman. Cobb keeping his hands up high. Cobb right there, trying to muscle in. Oh, and he is caught with a huge uppercut. Cobb was stunned by that, but quickly regains his senses. Foreman looking to load up once again. And he does with a left hook to the head and body. Cobb trying to regroup, moving a little back, flicking his jab out. Foreman pursuing. Again, Cobb flicking the jab, slides to the ropes, off the ropes. Foreman pursuing, looking to load up, taking his time. Foreman pushes his way on the inside. Cobb pushes him back. Now Cobb lands a counter. 1-2, scoring blows. Didn't even stun Foreman. He continues to come forming. They tie up. Battle breaks them. Under a minute to go in the round. Both fighters still pawing with that jab. Foreman coming forward. Cobb moving back a bit, then to the side. Flicking his jab out there. Foreman lands a 1-2-3. And Cobb just smiles at him. 20 seconds left in round one. Big right hand! Cobb again smiles at Foreman, shaking his head, saying, "No, you didn't hurt me." And there's the bell. Cobb just stares at Foreman, now goes back to his corner, where Eddie Futch sits him down. That was a big George Foreman round. He rattled Cobb a couple of times with some big shots. Cobb just smiled. That's what Cobb is known for. I give that round 10-9 Foreman. Let's go to the scorecard here. Unofficial. And Mirko Mizera also gives it 10-9 Foreman. Cobb did land a few scoring blows there. Nothing to stop the big freight train called George Foreman. Let's quickly go to the Cobb corner. Eddie Futch liked what he saw. He knows his fighter is not a defensive whiz. He took the punches well, and he actually avoided a few blows. And he landed some good countering shots. They'd like to have Cobb a little more busy. Cobb not the fastest of hand speed. He has to let his hands go. He has to let his hands go. Cobb takes a sip of water. No worse for the wear. Now let's go over to the George Foreman corner. Gil Clancy says, "You're doing good, George. Good feeling out round. You won that round. Let's pick up the pace each and every round." We move on to round number 2 here at the Astrodome, scheduled for 15. The bell for round number 2. Both fighters off their stools, center of the ring. Again, Cobb pawing with that jab. Continues to paw with the jab, and he's met with a 1-2-3. And an uppercut by Foreman. Cobb felt those blows. He moves back. Again, smiling at Big George. Foreman pursuing. Another tremendous cross by Foreman. Cobb is still upright. Cobb flicks the jab out there. Moving back, now side to side. Now comes forward. Foreman loads up. Cobb blocks that one. And Cobb counters with an uppercut through Foreman's guard. Foreman goes back towards the ropes. Randall Tex Cobb pursuing him. Huge left hook by Foreman off the ropes. Now Cobb is shaken as they go back and forth here with under a minute to go here at the Astrodome in round 2. They're both trying to load up with punches here. They're missing. Now they're muscling on the inside. Cobb throws a 1-2, misses. Foreman moved in. Oh, a countering cross. Then a left to the body by George Foreman. Cobb backing up towards the ropes. Huge left hook landed by Foreman. Cobb lands 2, flicking jab, now digs to the body. Under 15 seconds to go here. And there is the bell. Great action here. Foreman got the better of it, but Cobb wouldn't back down. He dug some good body shots in. He stunned Foreman after being rattled by 2 hard combinations by Big George. Came back, threw a couple of body shots, and came right up the middle with a right uppercut. Foreman staggered and went backwards. Cobb pursued, but then really didn't land anything of any significance. Foreman came right back, beating him across the ring. Cobb smiled. Late in the round, dug a couple of good hard shots to the body, and the bell sounded. Another George Foreman round, 10-9. But it's been competitive. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard, titled About Boxing. Let's see how Mirko scored it. 10-9 for Foreman. I'm in agreement there. go to the Randall Cobb corner. Eddie Futch. Futch is very happy with his fighter. This is about what Randall Cobb can do. He'd like him not to eat those big right hands. But he's taking them well so far. How long will he stand up? Remember, Cobb was knocked out by D. Collier in a huge upset. After going through a few controversial decision losses, he really underestimated Collier. He really didn't train. And Collier caught him. That's boxing, folks. Dropped him 3 times. Cobb has that fight well out of his head now. Eddie Futch says, just let your hands go. And they might want to see him get a little more on the inside and try to rough up Foreman, try to back him up. Their strategy is to somehow get Big George Foreman late into this fight and try to tire him out a la Jimmy Young. But Jimmy Young was a defensive wizard in his prime. Let's go to the Foreman corner. Gil Clancy very happy with Big George. No nicks, cuts, or abrasion on either fighter yet. He doesn't like that Foreman got caught, though. When he got lackadaisical a little bit. When Foreman landed those 2 rattling combinations, basically one after another, looking to load up again. Thought he had Cobb. Cobb dug a couple of punches to the body. Came right up the middle with that right uppercut, staggering Foreman back to the ropes. Foreman just listening to Clancy. As we get ready for round number 3. There's the bell for round number 3. Foreman has clearly taken the first 2 rounds. They have been competitive, though. Here's round 3. Both fighters off their stool quickly to the center of the ring. Who will land first? Again, both fighters pawing with the jab. Cobb misses with those punches. Foreman backs up, looking to bait Cobb in. Again, Cobb looking to fight on the outside defensively. He lands a 1, 2, 3, 4! Foreman felt those punches. If Cobb was a bigger puncher, he might have dropped it. And now a 1, 2, and an uppercut that follows that. Cobb letting his hands go on the outside. Foreman counters with a good left hook. Foreman looking to counter from the outside this round. That was a scoring left hook. Cobb backs up a bit, blocks those blows by Foreman, smiles at Big George. Minute 45 here in round 3. So far, Cobb has controlled round number 3 at the Astrodome after losing the first 2 rounds. And there's a big 1, 2 by Big George. Cobb smiles and backs away, though he felt those blows. Another countering right hand by Big George as Cobb was trying to come in. Foreman digs shots to the body now. Cobb is out of a rhythm, trying to get back in a rhythm, flicking that jab out there. Again, both fighters exchange, and Big George gets the better of those blows. Cobb backing up, trying to regroup. Foreman has decided to pursue under a minute to go. And another 1, 2, and Cobb is rattled. Moving back to the ropes. Foreman moving forward. 15 seconds to go here in round 3. Big George coming on like gangbusters. Cobb ties him up, pulls his head down, and there's the bell. They throw punches at the bell. Cobb landed a pity-pat hook to the head. So after the first half of the round went to Randall Tex Cobb, nice scoring combinations. Foreman regrouped, decided to forget about that fighting on the outside defensively. Rattled Cobb, moved forward, pinned him on the ropes, and let his hands go. Foreman took the second half of that round, and he took it big. 3 rounds to none, I have it, for Big George Foreman. Let's go to the unofficial scorecard, titled About Boxing. Mirko also has it 10-9. Again, competitive rounds. But Cobb has lost all 3. Let's go to the Randall Tex Cobb corner. Eddie Futch is very happy with his fighter. Eddie Futch will no longer be working the Frazier corner as Jersey Joe Walcott upset Frazier. So he has Randall Tex Cobb right now. And he knows Cobb's doing the best he can. Cobb has shown a little defensive skill. And he has let his hands go. He just has to be busier, but this is Randall Tex Cobb. Again, they want to hurt Foreman a bit to the body, take him out in the later rounds, and as they say, take him into the deep water and drown him. Let's go to the George Foreman corner. Again, this is what you call a competitive, I don't want to say mismatch, because it is in a way, but it's not. Foreman has clearly won the first 3 rounds, but Cobb has been very competitive. He's rattled Foreman right back. Go to the George Foreman corner. Again, Gil Clancy is happy, but not happy that his fighter's getting hit. But he knows this George Foreman is not a defensive wizard. So the one thing Randall Cobb will do is try harder. And he's been doing that. He's gotten a little better each and every round. In the chat, ID Gesture says, it's a SmackDown slugfest, nice. And Stratomatic Delaware is in the house. Check out his channel. He says, boxing, hey Al, you missed a good dead ball twin. Don't tell me who won, I know. Because I saw you, but I was setting this up. So I'm going to watch that later. Thank you. And again, we also have Marvin Horton and Clinton Parks. Check out Clinton Parks' channel. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. All right. So after 3 rounds, I have it 3-0 for Foreman, and so does the unofficial scorer, Mirko, for Tight About Boxing. Let's just go to the traits and check out endurance. See, Foreman has put on so much punishment that it's Cobb who's losing his endurance faster than Foreman. So that's good for Big George if you're a Big George fan. Here we move on to round 4. Again, not a lot of betting on if Randall Tex Cobb was going to win this fight. The over-under is 8 rounds. Can Cobb get past 8 rounds? If he gets past 8 rounds, there's going to be a huge cheer from the Astrodome crowd. There's a lot of betting for the over. That Cobb would make it past 8. Move on to round 4. Again, both fighters off the stool, center of the ring. And Cobb looks tremendously motivated, going right at Foreman, and he eats 4 tremendous punches. A 1-2 and a left to the body and up to the head. Cobb continues to move forward. Foreman meets him and greets him with a tremendous shot to the head and body, but Cobb continues to move forward. Cobb is hurt but continues to plod forward, and Foreman continues to dig punches to the head and body. Cobb is a human punching bag right now. He still stands and comes forward. Now he ties up. Referee Rudy Battle breaks them under 2 minutes to go here. It's been all Big George Foreman. Cobb again comes forward and he eats a 1-2. Cobb is eating everything. He has not been able to get his punches off. As he tries to throw, Foreman is getting off much quicker, letting his hands go. Tremendous shot there, followed by a big left hook by Foreman. But Cobb stays on his feet somehow. And now Cobb hammering away on the inside. And he lets his hands go, warned for low blows there. Under a minute to go. Those low blows slow down Foreman for a second. He misses with that jab there. 40 seconds to go. It's been a big round for George Foreman. 30 seconds. Both fighters sizing themselves up. And again, both fighters pump. Oh, a huge right hand miss by Foreman. Cobb ducks away from it. And he counters with big shots. 1, 2, 3 by Cobb. Foreman is hurt. He starts to move back. He lands a countering shot at the bell. Wow. Foreman battered Randall Tex Cobb for the majority of that round. Cobb stood up. And then in the last 35 seconds, let his hands go and land some devastating punches with that last combination, and he rattled Foreman. And the fans are going nuts here in the Astrodome. Cobb smiles and waves to his fans. Foreman goes back to his corner with a scowl as he thought he was going to take out Randall Tex Cobb there in the 4th, and it looked like he was going to. He just hammered away and hammered away. Again, don't get me wrong, Foreman won the round easily. But he ate some shots, and he got stunned. Again, let's go to the unofficial scorecard. And again, he's going to have it 4-0 like I do. And he does. All 4 rounds so far for George Foreman, 10-9. It's been, as they would say, a competitive mismatch. There's no quit in Randall Tex Cobb. Let's go to the Cobb corner, and Eddie Futch. I know it sounds bizarre. He's happy. This is what his fighter is. He's not Muhammad Ali. He's not Rocky Marciano. He's going to get in there. He's true grit. He's going to try harder and let his hands go. He's not even that big of a puncher. But he's a big man. He's a strong man. He can take punishment. Eddie Futch is saying, keep it up, keep it up. The one thing Futch and Freddie Brown are saying to him, try to dig to the body more, and that's what he tried to do. He came forward, tried to get on the inside, but George Foreman used his head and body like a human punching bag. Let's go to the Foreman corner. All the joy that Gil Clancy had for round 4 pretty much came to an end in the last 35 seconds when Randall Cobb just let his hands go in and shook Foreman once again. No cuts or abrasions on either fighter, the normal wear and tear in a pugilistic contest of this magnitude. Clancy says, don't take him lightly. Big George says, I'm not. Ace Murata, a little end swell around the eyes. As we get ready for round number 5. And again, let's check out the traits and the endurance. As you can see, Randall Tex Cobb's endurance is going down faster than Foreman's, as Foreman has really laid a lot of damage on Cobb. We get ready for round number 5. Here's the bell. Both fighters off their stool towards the center of the ring. Again, Cobb looking to come forward, and he's met by Foreman. Digs 2 to the body and up to the head, and then a right cross. Cobb somehow stands there, trying to get on the inside and let his hands go, but he is caught again as Foreman takes that little step back. He nails them. Both fighters exchange. Foreman got the better of it. The crowd is going crazy. Our 1-2 scoring blows by Foreman. Cobb continues to press forward, hands held high. Oh, those are big shots from Foreman, followed with a left uppercut. Cobb felt them, but again plods forward. Foreman sizing him up, pawing with the jab, now nails him with the hook and the cross. Cobb stands. His knees buckled, but he stood up to it. His eyes starting to swell. Foreman has Cobb pinned in the corner. They're mauling and brawling. Nothing really landing. Big right hand misses out of the clinch by Foreman. Cobb backs up a bit now. Oh, there's a shot as he came in! What a shot! Cobb is down. He walked into the uppercut. Cobb is in bad shape.
3.
The count's at 3.
4.
4. 5. Foreman
6.
in his corner.
7.
It's at 7.
8.
Cobb is up. Rudy Battle wipes off his glove. Cobb says he wants to continue. Under a minute to go. Can Foreman knock out Randall Tex Cobb like D. Collier did? Foreman pressing forward. Cobb trying to cover up, but Cobb comes forward. No quitting Randall Tex Cobb. He eats 3 more punches and he stands. Under 15 seconds. He eats a huge left hook and he stands. Cobb is badly hurt. Backing up. Foreman jumps into it. That's it. That's it. Rudy Battle's seen enough. He has saved Randall Tex Cobb from any further damage as Eddie Futch has thrown in the towel to save his beleaguered fighter. Rudy Battle acknowledged it and stopped the fight. Wow! The winner by TKO, Big George Foreman, round number 5, only 5 seconds to go. Eddie Futch had seen enough. Cobb didn't want the fight stopped. Futch and Freddie Brown take their beleaguered fighter to the corner. Oh, wow. And the fans who bet the under are ecstatic here at the Astrodome, as Cobb does not make it past the 8th. Foreman, hands raised, walks around the ring, congratulated by his trainer Gil Clancy and his cutman Ace Murata and his seconds. Now he goes over to the Randall Tex Cobb corner. Kind words for both fighters. They shake hands. Eddie Futch congratulates Foreman as well as Freddie Brown as well as Randall Tex Cobb. He's disappointed. He gave it his all. He gave it his all. But he could not stand up to the tremendous punching power of Big George Foreman. At least he can say he went more than 2 rounds. You have to remember, Foreman took the title from Joe Frazier in 2 and knocked out Kenny Norton in 2. Cobb lost a controversial decision to Kenny Norton. Many people thought that Cobb won that fight. And it's on YouTube. You can judge yourself. I also thought Randall Tex Cobb beat Kenny Norton. In reality, the fight is on YouTube. I remember watching that as a young boy. So a tremendous action here, and you know, it was what you call a competitive mismatch. Randall Tex Cobb was here to fight. He tried hard. The fans at the Astrodome got their money's worth. They were very excited about this battle for Texas, as Randall Tex Cobb is from the great state of Texas, and so is Big George Foreman. It was unofficially called the Heavyweight Championship of Texas, it was billed, even though it's in the heavyweight tournament. So a lot of excitement, and a disappointed Randall Tex Cobb, but pretty much everyone thought it was going to go this way. And let's get the finish here, as Johnny Addy will make the official announcement of what we've just heard and what the crowd saw. Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the 2:55 mark in round 5. Your winner by TKO is Big George Foreman. So George Foreman will advance in this heavyweight tournament. Again, blind draw. It was random numbers, so he got a pretty good draw. Where Joe Frazier got Joe Walcott, George Foreman got Randall Tex Cobb. So let's just check out some punch stat numbers. Foreman landed in 38 footing jabs in less than 5 rounds, in just under 5 rounds. And again, his jab is like a right hand. Everything Big George throws, he's very heavy-handed, is hard. Cobb only landed 9 jabs. He did land some decent hooks on the inside, and he rattled Foreman on 3 occasions during this bout. Foreman just landed a lot more punches, and eventually stopped Randall Tex Cobb. He dropped Cobb in the 5th and stopped him with 5 seconds when Eddie Futch had seen enough, was up on the apron, saw enough, did not want his fighter to take any further damage. He didn't care how much time was left. Eddie Futch, a compassionate man. So moving on is Big George Foreman. And here's what's funny. Randall Tex Cobb landed 52% of his punches, where Foreman only landed 45%, but Foreman threw a heck of a lot more. And again, he basically used Randy Tex Cobb as a human punching bag with arms, but Cobb did throw punches back, rattling Foreman on 3 to 4 occasions. And that did bring concern to Gil Clancy. As Gerry Ball says, fire up the grill, George, LOL. And thank you to ID Gesture. He's left the chat. Thank you very much for stopping by. Stratomatic Delaware, saying hello to people. So I hope everyone enjoyed the fight. It was a good one. Again, what they call a competitive mismatch. I was actually looking forward to this fight. I thought it was going to be a fun fight. To me, it was. It would have been interesting if Cobb somehow did get Foreman in the later rounds. If he did, that means he would have been doing pretty good. And he would have been, Foreman's stamina would have been going down. But Foreman moves on, TKO with 5 seconds left in round 5. So, Foreman landed approximately 31 punches per round, where Cobb landed about 12. And usually they came late in the round, either late or early. He never sustained any type of attack. He was too busy eating punches. The big punches here, Foreman landed 157, Cobb 59. He threw 113. Foreman threw 348 in under 5 rounds. Just under 5 rounds. So a tremendous win for George Foreman. He did what he had to do. He did it quickly. He didn't get hurt. He didn't get cut. And he got it TKO, a stoppage, and that's what Big George Foreman fans want. Let's go back to the fighters. So now, Randall Tex Cobb is out of the tournament, and we will add his retro replay record now. So he'll fall to 42-8-1 with 35 knockouts. And Big George Foreman will go to 77-5-0 with 69 knockouts, as now the retro record is combined with his real record. So George Foreman will advance, and let's go to our spreadsheet. And let's mark that on our spreadsheet and see what's going to be coming up next in our heavyweight tournament. All right, let's get the spreadsheet up. Oh, where's my heavyweight spreadsheet? Oh, where could you be? Well, I know where it is, but I can't find it in OBS. So Foreman will move on. All right, well, we're not going to bring it up then. I'll look at it myself. So George Foreman, let's just mark that. Foreman winner, TKO 5. And he moves on. So Foreman gets the blue color. And Randall Tex Cobb gets the green of a loser. Alright, save that. And I think the next fight is going to be either Joe Louis versus Joe Bugner. Louis will be a big favorite there, but Bugner, a pretty good defensive fighter. Or, I like this one. This should be a slugfest. Michael Moorer, who George Foreman beat for the heavyweight title in his comeback after losing to Tommy Morrison. Michael Moorer took him as a soft touch, and he got KO'd in 8. Against Louis Firpo, who knocked Jack Dempsey out of the ring in his title shot. I think it's going to be Moorer and Louis Firpo. That seems like a good fight there. So I can't find the spreadsheet, and we're using OBS. Let's try one more time. I wonder if we have to... Let's do game capture. Display capture. Maybe it's display capture. Oh, it's not that. Cancel that. Bad. 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 Remove. Yes. That was bad. Alrighty, so I think the next fight coming up, yeah, that's bad, as everyone's seeing it now. The next fight, I think, is either going to be Joe Louis versus Joe Bugner, or Michael Moorer versus Louis Firpo. And on that note, this is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much. Take care. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked, hit that like button. Remember to check out Stratomatic Delaware with Chris. Clinton Parks, ID Gesture. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Max Cornelius, how are you? Thank you. Jerry Ball, thank you. And Marvin Horton, thank you very much to all. Again, hope you enjoyed bout number 7 of this heavyweight tournament. Next bout most likely will be Moorer and Firpo or Louis versus Bugner, but you never know, it might change. George Foreman, winner by TKO. He dropped Randall Tex Cobb in the 5th, and with 5 seconds to go, Eddie Futch threw the towel in, and Rudy Battle stopped the fight. Foreman advances, Cobb goes home. Till next time, health, happiness, take care, bye-bye, God bless, and peace!